I am really excited today. We're going to take our 2.5 by 4.5, which is the 2 by 4 inch finished flying geese that we made the other day, and we're going to make them into a star, and then we're going to do a reverse applique t-shirt. I just want to give you a little instruction before you go out and buy your very first t-shirt. I did this one first and made it a little fancier, but we're going to do this star today. I did not realize this t-shirt has Lycra in it, and it was very stretchy, and I don't like A, how it fits, and B, how it came out when it was done being sewn. It kind of stretched on me. So I have a 100% cotton t-shirt that we're going to work on today, and so let's get started. First, we need to take our components, which are our 4 2.5 by 4.5 unfinished flying geese, 4 2.5 inch squares for our background, and the center square is 1 4.5 inch center square. So let's go over to the sewing machine and make our star. Okay, I have my block all laid out in a 9-patch layout, and now we're just going to sew in horizontal rows, press, and then sew in it all together, and we'll be ready to put it in the t-shirt just really quick. I have my leader in, and because this is such a small little project, I probably won't pin. If you're uncomfortable, you can certainly do any pinning you want. Just going to chain stitch my pieces together. This flying geese, I probably am going to pin right here just to help hold that seam flat. And well, it looks like we're going to do another one over here. And we're ready to go. 1/4 inch seam. Okay, now we're going to press. The top and the bottom flying geese units, I will press my seams towards my plain squares. My center unit, I will press to the center square. Now we'll join our 3 rows together. I line them back up and make sure I have my points oriented the way I need them to go. And now it's just a matter of sewing 2 quick seams. This one first, we're going to pick it up and nest our seam right here. Do you see that nesting? I can feel those 2 seams butting perfectly together. And yes, I am going to pin there. Here to hold this seam down, and right here to keep those 2 seams nested again as well. Check to make sure we're good, and then sew the next one on. Now let's go press these seams open. Again, I'm going to press my seam with my iron, then I'm going to lay it on my pressing bar that helps roll these seams open. The reason I like these open is because of all of these different seams come together and make extra bulk. And if we press this seam flat, we'll have a nice flat quilt block. Okay, now we're ready to pin it to our t-shirt. This is what our finished block looks like. I already pressed my t-shirt in half vertically so I could get my center line right here. It's probably tricky to see, but it's there. And hopefully it lines up straight, but I find that most t-shirts don't go straight, and I can see this one is off a little bit. So we're gonna come down and pretend that it's right. Now I'm gonna take my block and I'm gonna line it up on the top part of this. And I wanna make sure that I am about the same distance apart. Let me use a 1, 2, 3 here. So this comes right here, 3 inches to my shoulder seam, and this one is 3 inches to my shoulder seam. So I have this one eyeballed out pretty well. I could put glue down to help hold it in place if I wanted to. I'm just gonna pin it, and I'm gonna use a lot of pins. And I'm gonna start right here in the middle and come up from the underside. You need a free arm sewing machine to do this. And when I say free arm, I'll show you on my machine what I mean, but I want this to lay flat. And I don't want any pulls as I put this down. And I'll check it after every pin to make sure that I'm nice and flat. But I'm gonna just pin it a lot. I found that in the corners, I want a pin to hold both of these sides down so that when I rotate my block, I will not stretch it. At least that's the goal, okay? And I'm hoping that with this cotton shirt, I won't stretch it like I did with the Lycra shirt. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I'm nice and flat. Okay, it looks pretty good. Let's go over to the sewing machine and sew it down. Okay, now I've got my machine almost ready to go. I changed my bobbin and my thread. And to make a free arm, I'm just gonna pull my tray off. So this is a free arm. I can get fabric underneath this area here, and that will allow me to slide the shirt on, so I'm not sewing through all the layers, and I can just sew through one layer at a time. I've also got my 1/4 inch foot on because we are doing just a 1/4 inch seam. That's what I've accounted for, and that will be the perfect amount as we sew around, and that will help me keep everything straight. So here we go. I also lengthened out my stitch just a little bit. I want to keep everything flat as I sew. It's not a race. I'm going to go slowly. The thing I like about this foot is it's going to give me these marks right here. That's my 1/4 inch line right here, so I know I'm ready to pivot. And again, I'm going to pull everything along with me, underneath and on top, and keep it all flat. At this point, I've got all of the shirt that was under my machine now pulled up with the neck right here so I don't sew over it. And I'm going to just make sure that I keep everything flat as I keep sewing. We've made it all the way around. Now I just need to trim my threads and turn it right side out. And voila, it looks like nothing right now. So we have to go and trim out this part of our t-shirt. That is, for me, the trickiest part. Get a good pair of scissors. Let's go. All right, I'm going to lift my t-shirt. I can tell that I'm not touching my quilt block underneath. I'm going to make a snip, and I'm going to cut carefully up to the corner. Some duckbill scissors would make a good option. I don't have a pair of those. So I will just be very careful and put my hand under the shirt and continue to cut, leaving just a little bit of the t-shirt right next to the stitching. Be careful not to cut through your stitching. Long and slow snips. And there you have it. Now you have your own reverse applique t-shirt, perfect for any holiday. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.